You have this incredibly powerful tool for communication that you're probably not using correctly. So in this explainer, we're going to master it. We're talking about the quiet command, the strategic art of silence.
So, let's start with a question, just to get our heads in the right space. In a world of just constant noise, what if your greatest strength is saying nothing at all? It's a really powerful idea, because honestly, most of us get the role of silence completely backwards. And here's why. This is the common perception, right? We think silence means weakness, or it's awkward, or that someone lacks confidence. There's this almost compulsive feeling we all get that we need to fill every single conversational gap just to prove our worth or, to avoid that uncomfortable feeling. But what if that's a complete myth? Let's dive into the first powerful reality of silence, the incredible strategic advantage you get by using a pause to create space. Okay, this contrast right here gets to the absolute heart of the matter. Constant talking, it's kind of like a leaky faucet. It just reveals more than you mean to, and it really waters down the impact of your words. But intentional silence? Well, that flips the whole dynamic. It lets you learn more, it massively increases the power of what you eventually say, and it creates this sort of vacuum. And when you stop speaking, other people often rush to fill that space, giving you a huge advantage. So the crucial point here is this. Silence isn't passive. Not at all. It's actually an active tool for gathering information. By creating that little bit of space, you learn so much more while revealing way less about your own position. You actually encourage other people to share thoughts and emotions they might have otherwise kept to themselves. And you let them fill those conversational gaps, often telling you exactly what you needed to know without you even having to ask. And creating space isn't just about gathering information. It's actually the foundation for our second point, projecting a sense of quiet authority. This is where we really see that less is genuinely so much more powerful. Think about it. The most confident people in the room, they don't rush to speak. They follow this really deliberate three-step sequence. First, they just pause. They resist that urge to jump right in. Second, they use that time to actually observe and assess what's really being said. And only then, as a third step, do they respond with real intention and clarity. Constant talking is just static. It reduces the impact of everything you say. But carefully chosen words, delivered after a thoughtful pause, wow, they land with incredible weight. They create authority because they signal that your response is considered, that it actually matters. Now, beyond just authority, silence is maybe your greatest ally in a really high-stakes arena, mastering your own emotions. Especially when you're under pressure, the power of a thought-out response instead of a gut reaction is everything. So let's be super clear on what we mean by emotional control. It's simply the ability to process what you're feeling before you respond, instead of just reacting impulsively in the heat of the moment. In silence, silence provides the necessary time, that critical gap for this whole process to happen. And the results of that simple silent pause are they're profound. You immediately appear calm and composed, even if you're feeling anything but. You stop yourself from saying things you'll almost certainly regret later. You're able to respond with clarity, with control. And sometimes, you can even establish a firm boundary with someone without ever saying a single word. Okay, so we get the why. Now it's time for the how. How do we actually apply this strategically in our day-to-day lives? Let's get practical. It all starts with a huge shift in your goal during a conversation. So step one, you have to actively embrace the pause. That means listening to understand and not just waiting for your turn to reply. Step two, as you're listening, notice more than just the words. Pay attention to their tone, their body language, all the hidden meanings behind what's being said. And step three is crucial. Find the balance. Strategic silence is intentional and thoughtful. It's not about being cold or just accidentally quiet. And that intention, that is absolutely critical, especially in our personal relationships. There's a world of difference between constructive and destructive silence. Healthy silence, its intent is to help you reflect and understand. It feels calm and it strengthens bonds. But that silent treatment, that's meant to punish and control. It feels cold and it completely shatters trust. Yeah, getting this balance right is everything. Too much silence, or using it the wrong way, can just feel distant and cold. The goal isn't to stop talking entirely. It's to achieve intentional, strategic communication, where both the moments you speak and the moments you don't are equally powerful. So, all of this brings us to our final and maybe most powerful takeaway, the quiet command. If you remember one thing from all of this, let it be this. Silence is not empty.
It is an active state, and it is full of awareness, of control, of intention, and ultimately of real power.
And this right here is the ultimate result. In a world where everybody is shouting to be heard, the people who master silence are the ones who stand out. As the source material puts it so perfectly, they don't compete for attention, they command it. And that, right there, is the power of the quiet command.